Going on, guys? We're back out here at the shop again. Decided to come out and get started on this Cadillac, give you guys an update since the last video when we crashed the car through the wall. So we got the wall fixed. It's all back together now. The shop's still a mess, but I'll turn around and show you that. So yeah, right here is the pictures that were in the last video that you could see where it went through the wall right here, and we've got it all patched back up and it's all fixed. And yeah, we're still you know, the shop's still a mess. Haven't been able to get out here and get that. I put the hydraulic press back together. It's a little twisted and not quite the same. I don't think it ever will be, but it works. I had to weld the legs back together. It'll work till we get a new one. So yeah, like I say, it's still a mess in here. I got stuff stacked up everywhere trying to reorganize after the mess, but anyway, decided to work on the Cadillac some more. So here's our big dent on this passenger side fender. I gotta somehow get that out of there. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do, if I'm gonna have to make a new fender, you know, combine some fenders, or what I'm gonna have to do, but these fenders are like a 1-year commercial chassis only fender, so they're a little different than a regular 56 Cadillac, I guess. So I'm gonna try and pull it out, at least so I can get it off here, but it's creased so bad in here I don't want to pull it off and try and just hammer that out. So first I want to try and pull it out. So I got a little piece of just square stock I had laying around, some scrap, cleaned it up a little bit, and I think what I'm gonna do is try and get this. I'm just gonna tack weld it right in here like so. This is where there's a square leg on the bench over here that was the whole length of this that pushed this in, so I figured a piece of square stock might pull it back out somewhat. So that's the plan, is I'm gonna weld that in there, and I got some chain here. I'm gonna cut a link or whatnot to weld it right to the middle of that, and it gives me a length of chain. I'll cut this chain off, give me a few links like so, and then I can hook a chain to it and hook it to the heister, and we can use the heister out here to we'll pull the car back out, hook the heister to it, and we'll see if we can't pull that back out with the heister a little bit and stretch that dent back out enough that, you know, we can get this fender off and get some of this out of it so that you can hammer it from the back side easier without having these major kinks in it right here. I'm hoping it'll, you know, pull some of this back out, stretch it back out a little bit. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. We'll kind of keep you updated here a little bit. This probably won't be a real long video. I'm just going to hit highlights of it. But anyway, yeah, we'll be... Alright guys, so here I got the piece all tack welded in here. Got a piece of chain welded on it, and yeah, I don't know what it's going to do, but we're going to find out. See if it's going to pull it back out. It did pull it out quite a bit, actually. But we ended up ripping through the metal. I mean, it can be patched. I can weld that up if we can get this out, but you can see it pulled this fold out, which is what I'm wanting. You know, it actually pulled it out quite a ways and pretty good. Man, almost tempted to put it down here and pull down here or right in here. I don't know. That or just get it off of there and start trying to hammer that out. But boy, it's got a pretty gnarly crease in that thing I'd like to pull out. I don't know. It did pull this back out though. She came out actually quite a bit. You can see this here was folded on itself, so that actually worked pretty good. So as you can see, I just welded the bracket to the side of the fender, and I welded a little piece of chain to it so I could hook a longer chain up to my heister and use the heister to kind of pull it out. It started working really well. I got a little overzealous with it. I guess I was, you know, you always want a little bit more, and I pushed a little too far and it ripped the piece out, ripped the welds out, but that's okay. That can be welded up. We'll just patch those little holes that it made, but it did work pretty good, as you can see here. So I was pretty pleased with that, and that allowed us to move on to pulling the fender and starting on the body work. So here's where I got to today. Kind of calling it quits for today. It's hot out here, getting late. We got a lot of this pulled out. A lot of this kink that we had earlier came out. You know, it's not folded under itself anymore. This body line on the top right here actually isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Little spot right in here, but I think that could even come back once you hammer and dolly it a little bit. We can patch these holes up. Those were just where it was welded, it pulled. I expected that. You just patch some sheet metal in there, but all this can be hammered. We still need to get this pulled out a little more, and then in here there's a crease there, and then we got this lower part, but this is pretty flat. This stuff will all, I think, come out with some more work. I got this one here. I think if we get that one from behind with the hammer, I think we can push that back out. That'll bring this out. This didn't really get hit. I don't think it's just this is holding this in. So once this up here comes out, right here where this big dent is, this should come back straight down here. This body line should straighten right back out. So the hood does shut now. She ain't perfect, but before the hood wouldn't even come down because it was so far over. It was hitting the fender when the hood closed. So at least we're getting that, got it pulled out to get that line back. So yep, some more work, and then we obviously got more work up here and a dent up here, but can all be massaged out with a little hammer and dolly work. And getting in here, I actually discovered that this lower piece is a separate piece. There's like right in here, there's like a seam where the two, I don't know if you guys can see it in there, there's two pieces are seamed together right there all the way down behind that trim. And maybe you can see it up in there. There's like two pieces that are, so we might be able to remove that lower part and do some work on that and separate from this upper part of the fender, so might make it a little easier on us. Anyway, so that's where we are today, where we're leaving off with the caddy, and we'll pick up on it the next time we get working on it again and keep progressing. I'm not sure if I'm going to replace this fender still or not. It depends on how well I can hammer it out. And I'd hate to buy a new fender if I can get this one to work, so we shall see. And I've heard from guys that these fenders are a combination of like early 51 fenders and 56 fenders, so that lower piece being separate and the trim being different, I may have to Frankenstein a new 56 fender with this fender and make something work. But we're going to find out a little later as we delve into this more, once I get this fender off of here and we can take a look at it and see how she's going to straighten out and how well we can get it. If it'll come out straight, we'll be in good shape, but who knows. So